What's up, guys? It's Mike again. We're gonna do something a little different this time. We got a new trailer. Well, new to us. And anyways, it was set up for 50 amp, like your big camping trailers and whatnot. And we've never really used anything 50 amp. Everything we've ever did's been 30 amp. Anyways, we were on the hunt for a generator, and we had a 3500 Predator inverter generator. Worked good, but we've got so much. 2 leaf blowers that we run to help cool the car down. In the summertime, we run the AC, the battery charger, charging all our devices. If the kids go, we got a TV, Xbox, blah blah blah. So we just got to the limits of the 3500 watt Predator. So I've been doing some research, and without breaking the bank and buying some big massive 9,000 watt inverter generator, or going back to a really noisy non-inverter generator, we started thinking outside the box. And what we're going to do is something that I looked and couldn't find a lot of information about, and so on and so forth. We ended up with a Predator 2000 watt inverter generator for testing purposes, more or less. What we did is we run that thing at full load. We run it at, I guess you would say, half load, and then basically run it with no load to see what kind of fuel consumption it gets per se. It's their little 2000 watt, I think it's 2000 watt startup and 1600 watts running watts, and I think it's 13.3 amps is what they are. Our testing, more or less, you can run that thing at 1500 watts wide open for about 7 hours on a tank of gas. Mind you, it holds 9/10 of a gallon, and it's full. I'm sure you could probably put a gallon in it, but it would be overflowing at the lid. So what we're going to try to do, 2000 watts and 13.3 amps is not near enough. So we got to thinking, okay, you can parallel 2 generators. That would be 4000 watts and 26.6 amps. Still not enough. So why not use 3? So we did the math. We figured out what one of them does fuel consumption wise. So we split the difference, and basically all 3 of them wide open, drawing all the amps that they produce. I don't even know how I would do that in a sense, because I only have a 30 amp breaker, so we're going to have 10 more amps than what my breaker's capable of doing. But nonetheless, the fuel consumption, they should run somewhere around 12 to 13 hours, give or take a little, on basically less than 3 gallons of gas. I can handle that. They're super quiet. They all 3 will fit in a generator door, and I think we're going to try it. If it don't work, we'll sell them, we'll buy something else. But what we're doing is I'm going to make a triple parallel kit. Can't find one on the internet. There's very few YouTube videos out there that show anything about it, and they have got a ton of views, but they're very vague. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to dumb it down for you. I'm going to show you how it works, what kind of a load they pull, what they'll run, what they won't run, yada yada yada, and how I made it for basically less than $100, and I may have overspent on items to make this triple parallel kit. So hang around. We'll show you what it looks like when we're done, and we'll go from there. Okay, so basically what we have is just stuff you buy at Lowe's. I mean, that's just a grommet for the metal box, faceplate, 5 15 amp 110 outlets, and 1 L14 30 amp 120 240 volt female plug, because that is what our trailer is wired with. Basically what's going to end up happening is these will be daisy chained, one generator to the next, from that generator to the next, and then out of that generator to the 30 amp receptacle, and it should work just fine. I'm no electrician. I have studied a little bit about this stuff. I do know that when you do this, whatever amp draw that you pull on the generators, basically it equalizes through the three of them. So if you have a 3 amp draw, each generator should only do a 1 amp charge, in theory. So we're going to see what happens. Like I said, I've got less than $100 in this. Oh, I bought some. I just bought like 15 foot of 12-3 stranded wire to do all this. Should work just fine. I mean, if not, and it gets hot, I'll just step it up a little bit. So we'll be back. Okay, so we got the first daisy chain done, and as you can tell, it just loops from one outlet over to the other, and technically that'd be the same thing as paralleling two of those together. A couple different things you could do. You could cut this, add a box in there, and voila, you've got a parallel set of 2,000 watt generators. These generators do have the parallel outlets, but getting the banana clips, as they're called, or the banana plugs, there's so many options. I'm not sure what these are. I don't know what millimeter, yada yada yada. So it's just as easy to do that right there. You've got your ground, your hot, your common. Okay, then the next one will just come from this generator, loop to the next generator, and then from that generator it comes to the female plug. So stay tuned. Alright, I got those done. Ultimately, all I've done here, 2 male ends. Same thing, 2 male ends, male end, and then my female. It's an L14. It's a 120 240 female side of things. Basically what a lot of people call like a dead man's parallel kit, because if you plug this in and you plug that in and then you plug this in, but that end is open, if you touch that end, apparently it can kill you. I mean, I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know how much electricity they'll put out, whatever. So the way you do this, you plug all this up, parallel the two, parallel the third one, have that plugged up. That's what this is for. You're not going to stick your finger in that hole, and if you do, you get little bitty fingers. But you plug all this up, you start the generators up. From that point, then you can plug the trailer in, or I mean, you can do whatever you want to do, I guess. But a lot of people, I can hear it now, people are going crazy. That's stupid, that's silly, blah blah blah. These 15 amp plugs, they're not going to carry 40 amps. Whatever. Yes, they will. I don't care what you say. If it burns the trailer down, I'll collect insurance. We'll go from there. But the reason I'm doing 3, the 2 I will parallel probably most of the time. In the spring, in the fall, things of that nature. I mean, I'll probably only need 2 generators. But that third one comes into play when it's August. It's 9,000 degrees here in southeast Missouri, and I need to run the air conditioner, plus all the other stuff that comes along with owning a turbo car. So with that being said, I bought a third one for that stuff. Will I use it all the time? Probably not. I don't know. I might need to. I don't know. I don't think so. I'll just parallel the 2 together. The cost, you can buy 3 of these and build the parallel kit, add the oil and the gas it requires to fill them all up, and you still come out cheaper than buying a big one of this size, I guess, if you will. I mean, I did my research. I think I'm going to end up doing these 3, and I'm going to save myself about $300. Chinese to Chinese. Predator, Harbor Freight versus Westinghouse or some other brand that I know nothing about. So I think I'm going to save about $350. And if this works out, the gas savings versus running one big generator, like a 9,000 watt, which still only 30 amps, unless you come off the GFI outlets, and there's just too much involved there. 30 amps is what we're going to stick with. We don't need 50 amps. If I need 50 amps, then I'll do something different. But hang tight, and we'll get all these running. We will power something up, and we will see what happens. Well, there's 3 of them in parallel. One 1500 watt heater on the end of a squirrel cage. So one generator, it'll run it, it's wide open. 2 will kick up, I don't know, probably half speed, I don't know, something like that. 3, I mean, they come up off an idle just a little bit. It's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. It splits the 1500 watts between the 3 of them, which is 500 watts apiece. Works as should. Yeah, I know, I'm doing it in the trailer, don't worry. The door's open, the vents are open, and I'm not letting them run very long. But just for testing purposes, that's a 1500 watt space heater. And just like I said, 1 of them runs wide open, 2 of them a little less, and 3 of them, you know, barely over an idle. So I think it's going to work great. Next, we will, I'll hook them to the trailer, and I'll turn everything on, and we'll see what happens. So hang loose. Yes, sir. 3 generators, parallel to my trailer. That's got a heater in it. Inside lights, outside lights, battery charger underneath the counter. The only thing I don't have plugged up is my icebox, which pulls 1 amp, and my gaming console. Other than that, on my laptop is not hooked up, nor is my phone charger. But that's about everything I've got. They work great. They work great. Alright guys, you've seen it. All 3 of them running. Trailer was plugged into them. I had 2 squirrel cage. One of them was a 1500 watt heater. The overhead AC with it's got the heater unit in it. They pull a ton of amps. The TV, vacuum cleaner. We got a battery charger that stays under the cabinet. We've got, excuse me. The only thing we didn't have was the icebox, which is a small little, I I don't know, it's off the internet, just a little 1.7 cubic inches or feet, whatever, ice box. Pulls 1 amp. I think it pulls like 60 watts. I don't think that's going to affect it. And other things such as my laptop, which really doesn't pull anything, and I don't charge it a lot anyways. And then we had my battery charger, which in reality doesn't hardly pull anything. I think maximum on it is 6 amps, but I mean, I run an alternator on my car, so it hardly ever has to do any charging. But this video is about the Deadman parallel cable, or you call it redneck, homemade, I don't care what you call it. It works. $60 something at Lowe's, 70 bucks at Lowe's, and I mean, I think it's gonna work great. It's not a tutorial on how to wire it or any of that. I mean, I'm not going to be responsible for any of that crap, but just wired it to an L14 30 amp plug, 12-3 wire, plugged into one generator, from this generator to this one, from this generator to that one, basically in a daisy chain, and it works great. So if anybody's wanting to know how to parallel 3 generators together, that's how you do it. It's no big deal. So that's gonna be about it for this video, guys. I don't know, any questions, hit me up in the comments, whatever, I'll do the best to answer them. But I guess we'll catch you next time. Hey, like, subscribe, comment, share, all that jazz. See you later.